All right. Well, here we go. Okay, now she got me out. Well, I'm just going to add my welcome. I'm Bev Scott, and I'm the founder for Introducing Youth to American Infrastructure, Inc. And we're here today to really talk about let me tell you what we're all about. We're on a mission, and we've been on a mission for, I guess, I feel like I've been on a mission 45 years, but we have really been on a serious mission in terms of these careers, okay, these critical infrastructure careers, and transport is one of the 16 lifeline sectors to really, really wind up getting youth with unapologetically with a focus on historically underutilized youth, excited, inspired, informed, and aware of these careers and the manner in which they absolutely shape every single aspect of our lives, our households, our communities, and society. So that is the mission that we are on. We're pleased, and we're on that mission with a whole lot of partners, advisors, resources. We wouldn't be here and still standing in the 5 years if it hadn't been for so many tremendous folks. And April Rai with the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials, who is our lunch and learn, our second lunch and learn speaker, okay, is here with us today. So just quickly, we're in our, like I said, 5th year of operation. We have a sustainable mobility career awareness program and innovation challenge that we've launched this year, and we're at the midterm. It has 3 elements to it. One is career awareness, and if there is anything, it is not just the transportation sector. All of the critical infrastructure sectors are suffering from some real serious workforce challenges, and one portion of that is all about this whole notion of image and next generation really embracing, wanting to be excited and inspired, and coming into our careers and remaining in them, okay? The second thing is an innovation challenge, which is a new one for us, okay? And that is to really, because infrastructure, we don't say infrastructure, but it's really all about community building. That's what you're picking up. Okay. And to be able to engage young people in problem solving and problem identification in terms of in their own communities. And then the third element, we got a lot going on this year. So and it's not just for this year, it's critical conversations. And that's all about youth voice and listening to youth, okay, share with us what they like about our careers and wish that we would talk about more, as well as candidly to transportation management and labor, those things about our careers that are not attractive and that they would like, and they have some ideas about how they might be changed, okay? And so those are the 3 elements of the program that we have going on this year. We're very pleased to be at 11 with 11 organizers across the country, and for the first time, we also have Canada. The Toronto Transit Commission is engaged as well, and we have 19, as you'll see, and they're represented here today. The mighty Bay Area is one local organizer, but they have 27 operators actually in the area, and all of what we call the Big 7, if you will, are participating as a local organizer with the Metropolitan Transportation Commission. So anyway, I've talked a little bit about the critical conversations, which you'll be hearing even more of later. We really do a big kickoff of that on National Transportation Day, May 19th, and are excited that the American Public Transportation Association is really, and COMTO and others are really taking because this is really reaching out to young people to hear from them. Okay, what exactly what I just said. So with that, just take me through, Nay, so I can finish this up and I can get to the real portion of the show, which is what we want to hear from Ms. April Rai. I can't say enough. I was just telling her, I was just in DC, and they had this, for those of you who know about the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials, you know the work, okay? COMTO is 52, 53 years old now. I'm dating myself, but I can tell you that I've been a proud COMTO member for going on about 40 years now. Okay. And April stepped into the reins of being the CEO. I think it was in 2021. She is a 20-plus-year veteran, okay? See, you getting those age, you getting those years on you too, of just overall management, nonprofit, public, private, just a diverse array of just unbelievable experiences, okay, that have really brought her where she is today. She was also with the Women's Transportation Seminar International as their deputy before she came over to COMTO, does tremendous things in terms of public service in the state of Maryland. She's been in the public health sector, currently serves on the Washington Metropolitan Area Transportation Authority Board of Directors. And I think they might be, I always know that they in Chicago and LA are always in there fighting around who's number 2 and who's number 3, but they're certainly up there. And we are just so honored to have April here today to talk to us about the sector generally, but very much with a focus in terms of diversity, inclusion, and representativeness. And so, April, if it just gives me a great pleasure to introduce you today. Okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Scott. That is the most gracious introduction I have ever received. Thank you very much. Naomi, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my PowerPoint slide? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. So good afternoon, everyone. As I've already been introduced so graciously, my name is April Rai. It is my privilege to serve as the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials President and CEO. And it's so nice to be with you all today. You know, I'm so happy that this is being recorded. I'm so happy to all of you who are participating live today, because we're talking to you students participating in this DEIA program. We're also talking to you emerging leaders who are considering careers in transportation and infrastructure. You know why? Because we need you. So the theme of our talk today is on how we build a DEIA-centered transportation workforce. And I know that those terms have been thrown around over the past couple of years: diversity, equity, inclusion, accessibility, but they're really, really important. So I'm going to start by sharing with you a little bit about COMTO, who we are and what we do, why this topic is so important to us, and why each of you, remember I'm talking to you students and you emerging leaders considering careers in transportation, why you're critical to our future. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what a professional journey might look like. It may not look like what you think, and why it's important to understand that really at any stage in your career. And then we're going to talk a little bit about the progression of industry and what are some of the skills and qualifications that are critical to be successful in what some call, what we live in now, the 4th industrial revolution. That's what some people call the time we're living in right now. We're going to end with a call to action and next steps and resources that are going to help you along the way. So let me start by just telling you a little bit about COMTO. We are a 52-year-old organization founded at a historically Black college and university, Howard University. HU, you know, if anybody is from the DMV, they know what that means. We have 37 chapters across North America, and we have been focused for that whole 52 years on equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility in the transportation industry. We are so excited that you're participating in this program because the future looks brighter because you're here. And why do I say that? Because the focus of COMTO is ensuring that the leadership, the decision makers in transportation and infrastructure reflect the communities served. And COMTO has served as the industry's voice of equity. That's what Secretary Buttigieg called us in 2021, the voice of equity in transportation. We want to help organizations bring their goals to life that are related to equity. And the word minority in the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials, we're really talking about all underutilized and underrepresented groups. That means persons with disabilities, persons of different ethnicities, gender, age, and really diversity and lived experience. We really do believe that transportation and mobility is a right. And I'm actually going to quote Dr. Scott here. Last year at Monetta's Transportation Institute graduation, Dr. Scott said, "To move is to live." I could not agree more. Transportation should be the great connector, connecting people to opportunities, employment, loved ones, and life. And so that means that we need to ensure everyone including those from traditionally underserved, economically disadvantaged, and vulnerable communities, have access to reliable, affordable, and efficient transportation. And that means we need your experience at the decision-making table to ensure that happens. So that's the COMTO mission. We want to ensure opportunities and maximum participation in transportation for, and then we list out those underrepresented groups. And we have a vision that minorities will have full access to transportation, and COMTO will help prepare them for all of the global opportunities that are evolving in leadership. So this topic of what the next generation of transportation professionals need, it's really aligned with the goals of COMTO. And all of you are critical to this discussion as future leaders in the industry. So I'm so happy to tell you that last year, I was able to approve that student membership will be at no cost from now going on. We're so excited about that. We don't want there to be any barriers to you participating as a part of what we call the COMTO family. So student membership is offered at no cost. Sign up today at comto.org. And you only need a couple of things: a proof that you're a student, a GPA of 2.0 or higher. Tell us why you want to be a part of the COMTO family, and you're in. And with that, you'll have access to scholarship opportunities, paid internships across the industry, and the ability to connect directly with some phenomenal industry leaders. We have 37 chapters across North America, so likely there's one close to you, and that'll just widen your network. So with that, let's talk about what a professional journey looks like. Okay, I'm going to show you two pictures. The one on the left is what I thought my career journey would look like: a straight open road, unobstructed, right? Now on the right side, you'll see what my career journey actually looked like: windy, curvy, and sometimes some unexpected twists and turns around the corner, but still advancing. Guess what? That's okay. It's normal, and it's actually to be expected. I don't know one professional that I've ever met in my whole career who has an unobstructed pathway in their career. Everybody has twists and turns. So you know what we say? Embrace it and go with it. Here's the goal. You want to set your priorities, your value system, and let that guide your decision-making. You'll never go wrong. Some of my goals are, I want to do work that I believe in. I want the work I do to match the mission. My personal mission needs to match the mission of the organization I work with. And that allows me to live in my truth. So I can do what's right, even when no one's looking, and feel good that my efforts are going towards the greater good. So those are the things that I think about when I'm making a career decision. So this twisty, turny road, what did that actually look like in practice? Here it is. Well, I was born in San Diego, California. And I know when you think about that, you say, she lived at the beach. What a beautiful place to grow up. And that it was. But I grew up in the economically disadvantaged part of San Diego. Now that's what they call it now. We called it the hood. I grew up in Southeast San Diego, right along the light rail that we call the trolley. And it was a economically disadvantaged neighborhood. It's one of the poorest areas of San Diego. That's where I grew up. When my mom got a job at Caltrans in the Disability and Evaluations Department, we moved up. We got to move to Lemon Grove. Ooh, that was really exciting, which is a little bit of step up from the hood where we were. And that changed our life. I relied on public transportation most of my life, and it really changed my ability to connect with my community and to live. My mom's best advice to me was to get a good state job with benefits. That was her best advice to me. Honey, get a good state job with benefits and you're gonna be okay. So in high school, I took sign language as my foreign language, and I loved it. So when I left high school, I became a sign language interpreter in the state of California, and that was really my first job. Felt good about that, remember? Matched my value set, allowed me to work with the deaf community, doing good work, matched the mission, living my truth, all of that. It was great. But after some time, I felt like maybe I could do more. Maybe I can be on a bigger stage, help more people. And I got an opportunity to move to Washington, D.C. Now that's one of those twisty turnies. Whoa, unexpected. What? Move from California to Washington, D.C. You don't even know anybody there. But I had the opportunity to work for a government affairs firm that was focused on transportation, environmental issues, and energy. And It was an ability for me to learn how the sausage is made. So I stayed there for close to 7 years, doing government affairs work in Washington, D.C., and seeing how the sausage is made and affecting policy. Well, there came a time where the organization I worked for started to get into new sectors. And some of those sectors did not match my value set, like private prisons. So I left that organization and I moved to work for the University of Maryland School of Nursing. And I started getting involved in public health advocacy. And during that time, I was connected to the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation on a very special research project on the connection between public health and transportation. Here it is. That changed my life again. Another curve, awesome curve, upward mobility. I loved it and I've never looked back. So that study put me in a position to work with the US Department of Transportation, NHTSA, the National Highway Transportation Safety Administration, on vulnerable populations, workforce development and readiness, and highway safety. And that's how I met Sarah Stickler, who is now the president and CEO of WTS International. And I went over to work with her. She said, let's change the world. Let's change WTS. I said, let's go. Once again, mission matched my value set. And so I became her deputy. And while I was bopping along, having a great time, loving my work, COMTO lost its president and CEO to the US Department of Transportation. He became the deputy of the FAA. And they said, we need someone and we want you to apply. I said, huh, me? What? Another twist. I wasn't even expecting it. But once again, match that value set, allow me to live in my truth. So I interviewed and loved it. When I met the board, understood all that they were trying to accomplish and how my skill set could match. So I say all of that to say, my current position, I feel like, is the culmination of everything I love, everything I care about, and the skills I can bring to the table. And that's how your career will be. Your career journey is going to take you through twists and turns, some of them unexpected, some of them pursued, but you need to stay open to the possibilities, even if they don't carry the title you thought, the company you thought, the discipline or the area of focus you thought. If the opportunity matches your interest and skills and value set, stay open to it. It'll be worth your while. So let's talk a little bit about the progression of industry as a whole and the unique position we find ourselves in. So I talked earlier about how many people feel like we are living in the fourth industrial revolution. What does that mean? Well, let me take you through. I know you might not follow me here, but just stay with me. Think about the progression of industry. We are experiencing a transformation because of technology, population growths and shifts, and the transportation engineers who plan and design and construct urban and interurban travel, they're going to need to be prepared for the evolution of the industry. That's going to include new transportation modes, materials, technologies, and the broader technological and environmental challenges. So an industrial revolution is characterized by advances in technology and power and manufacturing that impact the way people move and live. So the first industrial revolution took place way back in 1765. And that was when coal meant the steam engine. So they were able to extract coal, use that to power a steam engine. Crazy, because that was a significant breakthrough in human productivity. We went from manual by people and animals for labor to things being manufactured in a way and changing the way things were transported. Okay, let me take you to 1870. This is the gas and oil revolution, electricity and the combustion engine, steel production, huge, changed the way we move and live. Good old Henry Ford, he developed that for the assembly line for production. The car and the plane were invented. Let's talk about transportation. That's in the 1870s. And then let me take you through to the third industrial revolution, 1969. That's when nuclear energy and electronics were used to power and advance technology in factories. Once again, this is the beginning of computer technology and increase in productivity and production. Now, this time that we find ourselves in now, in 2016, the founder of the World Economic Forum, Mr. Klaus Schwab, he coined this phrase that we're living in the fourth industrial revolution. And that's because we've seen disruptive technologies like robotics, virtual reality, artificial intelligence. It's changing the way people move and live. So This is a huge opportunity. What does the transportation need? It needs you. It needs all of your lived experience, all of your diversity, gender, abilities, ethnicity, culture, economic background, your knowledge and skills. All of those things inform the way we move and live. And it also informs the way we interact with systems and utilize resources. Now, eventually you're going to become a leader. You're going to rely on your team, and that's going to be coupled with your own knowledge and experience to make decisions. In transportation, that translates to where systems are accessed, how accessible they are, fare costs, security, enforcement, micromobility, all of that. We need you. We need your diverse lived experience so that you can drive innovation and ensure safe, accessible, and equitable systems for everyone who utilizes them. So what does the future of transportation looks like? It is multimodal, it is highly connected, it's on demand, it's accessible, it's fast, and it's automated. So what does that look like in practice? Well, I'm going to show you a couple of videos that really showcase the possibilities. Amazing innovation happening globally in transportation and their related industries. So come with me on a little tour. What if we could charge an electric bus while it's moving? Let's take a look.
Meet Electreon and its unique technology developed in order to change the future of transportation. The change starts today. Electreon Smart Road quickly and efficiently transforms our public infrastructure into a source of advanced energy. Public transportation vehicles will not require any refueling or charging at any time whatsoever. So what does Electreon do? Electric vehicles will receive continuous power while the vehicle is being driven directly from the infrastructure embedded under the asphalt road. Instead of carrying the heavy and expensive battery with a limited driving range and a short lifetime, with Electreon's groundbreaking technology, one can simply travel nonstop. Our city's landscape will change dramatically. No more gas stations, nor cumbersome battery charging stations. And as the number of vehicles traveling on the smart road increases, air pollution around us will decrease drastically. Electreon's innovative and sophisticated technology is extremely efficient and very affordable. The upgrading of a mile of an asphalt road will only require the embedding of a narrow copper coil, which will be connected to the electricity grid. And that's it. We completed another smart and green road in just a few days. The upgrading of vehicles is also very simple. We install a receiver at the bottom of the vehicle and we are ready to go. Electreon's plan is underway. We are moving fast on the road to turning entire cities into electric and green cities. After we successfully complete the demos, we are embarking on pilot projects all over the world together with our international partners. We shall start electrifying main routes for public transportation. The next stage will enable us to continue the upgrading of the main roads of cities. And from there, we shall open and service distribution vehicles, sharing vehicles, and finally, autonomous vehicles in order to ensure maximum flexibility. The vehicles will also be able to travel on non-electrified routes. The future of transportation is already here. The technology exists and works successfully, changing the reality as we know it. You are invited to join us and follow the pilots and the first deployment on Electreon's website. Come on, let's go for a ride.
Let's go for a ride. I want to. Wow. Dynamic wireless power transfer. Phenomenal. This is the ability to exchange this energy between the vehicles that move along the road. And once the system is installed on the roads, it can use existing real estate without the need for added EV battery charging stations. Just amazing. Now, what if the road had built-in Wi-Fi and communicated with your car? Let's take a look.
Today, we have smartphones, smart appliances, smart cars, and even smart cities. But our roads are still just roads. But what if our roads of tomorrow could become a digital network, connecting drivers with real-time information, supporting driverless vehicle technology, and providing true connectivity between smart cars and smart cities? Introducing the Smart Pavement System from Integrated Roadways, factory-built pavement sections 4 times longer lasting than traditional asphalt pavement. Embedded with digital technology and wireless connectivity to transform ordinary roads into smart roads. Each interlocking smart pavement slab has upgradable digital technology that provides a seamless internet connection to vehicles on the road. Drivers will enjoy real-time information about traffic, road conditions, or accidents. In fact, smart pavement technology can automatically call for help if there's an accident or a vehicle leaves the roadway. Much like the trackpad on a laptop, sensors in the pavement can feel the positions, weights, and velocity of every vehicle on the road, providing superior navigation for Level 4 autonomous vehicles, in addition to capturing valuable traffic and usage data. And like a smartphone, the Smart Pavement platform has unlimited potential for third-party applications and services, which means our roads will actually generate income from value-added services. The smart roads of the future will be self-funding and not require tolls or new taxes, enabling us to upgrade public infrastructure without requiring more public money. Smart pavement technology isn't some far-off concept of tomorrow. It's here, today. And Integrated Roadways is already partnering with various state departments of transportation and municipalities to bring our highway system into the 21st century and beyond, turning our roads into smart roads and connecting the smart cities of the future. Find out more about Integrated Roadways and how we're using smart pavement to build the next information superhighway.
Smart pavement technology, systems that communicate information about weather, traffic, accidents. Wow, embedded. It can detect accidents, notify emergency responders. Pretty cool. Okay, last one. What if the paint used for road markings was solar powered? Let's take a look.
Have paints which charge at daytime and glow at night, and make landscapes which are energy neutral, and on the other hand, just incredibly beautiful. That is something I like to call techno power.
So these are roads that are both sustainable and smart, using light energy and signage that interacts with the traffic. That solar paint is collecting energy during the day and glowing for up to 8 hours at night to increase visibility and safety. Really cool. So what does the future of transportation look like? Well, maybe it looks like this. Using many technologies and connected systems for the betterment of all. Whether you're walking, biking, using an autonomous vehicle, a public transportation system, all interacting and working together. So what do we need? We need you, as we stated. The skills and qualifications are vast, and it can fit all of the different lifestyle and education choices that you may want to make, short-term and long-term. Well, let's talk about 3. What if you wanted to be a planner? What kind of skills do you need? Well, you need to be a problem solver, analytical. The education requirements are a bachelor's degree in civil engineering, environmental science, planning, geography, or a related field, And the types of things that you would do involve customer service, teamwork, problem solving, active learning, mathematics, GIS, and data analysis. Well, what if this is too much for you? That doesn't resonate. Well, what about being a robot doctor? Is that interesting? Okay, well, you could be a robotic technician. You would do service and repair to robots and automated production systems. Your education requirements is an associate's degree in electrical engineering technology, mechanical engineering technology, or a related field. And in that role, you would do troubleshooting, systems thinking, there's some mathematics there, the ability to work on a team, and do data collection and analysis. You also need really strong communication skills, verbal and written. Does that not resonate with you? Is that too much? Okay. Well, maybe you could test operations management for an autonomous fleet. What do you need for that? Just a CDL license. Understand the software, understand how to test something, see if it's reliable. And what would you do there? You would need excellent written and verbal communication skills, reading comprehension. You need to be able to safely operate a vehicle, either in the cab or remotely as a web-based monitoring service, and be a steward with a safety mindset, making sure that you're safe as you manage your work. We need you, and there's a place for you in transportation, regardless of how long you want to go to school or what your skill set is or what your interest is. There's a place for you. We're here for you. We want to support you on your journey. And we have 37 chapters across North America and connections to thousands of professionals who want to see you be successful. You can use any of these QR codes to learn more about COMTO, and please stay in touch. Follow us on all the social media channels and reach out if there's anything that we can do for you. I really appreciate your attention, and I'm excited that you're here and you're watching, because with you as our future decision makers, the future looks really bright. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Okay, I want to, this has been fascinating. I've just been sitting over here thinking to myself, I said, Lord have mercy, nobody, I feel like I'm back in the second or third industrial revolution. But let me ask you this. Would you talk a little bit about, I love this move that COMTO made in terms of the free student membership, okay? Because I tell people all the time. In fact, Carol Lewis is on here, and she and I started, I'm getting ready to age us now, Carol, before there ever was a Houston Metro, to tell you the honest to God's truth. And I fell into transportation, okay? And I'm saying, I don't know, I won't say that about Carol, okay? But I do want to, if you'll talk some about, but it was a fellowship that I started on, the intern, just a bigger internship, so to speak, okay? Would you talk about, you've got the city interns, and then the work that takes place in all the chapters is always got scholarships, internships, and all of that, okay? Talk a little bit about that, and then you got to talk about the annual meeting coming up, okay? And I'm saying that's what I'm talking about, okay?
Absolutely. So
okay.
That student membership is at no cost. And that was a move that we made last year, because when I came to COMTO, I took a time to assess it all and say, do we have any barriers to equity as an organization? We have to make sure. And as I looked at the student membership, it was a barrier. I remember, and I'm sharing a little bit more about my background. I told you I grew up in the hood, I told you that. I could not afford to take my PSATs. I didn't have the money. I couldn't afford to pay for my PSATs. That is a serious barrier. Now, it's different now, thanks to the Lord above, if you believe in that. I do. I've been blessed, and I'm in a better place now. But when I was younger, I simply didn't have the resources. So I want to remove any barriers to a young person being able to take advantage of opportunities and a network of people who want to see them succeed. So now all you need to do is tell us why you want to be a part of the COMTO family, and upload your, to make sure that you're at least doing okay in school. We don't want anybody who's seriously struggling part. We want you to get that right first. We made it really easy entry. And with that, you're going to get information about free money. And it is my personal mission. This is crazy, but I want to make sure that every young person that applies for a scholarship to COMTO maybe gets some money. That's my goal. That's a little crazy, but I don't care. I am shameless in talking to our partners and everyone who works with COMTO to say, you need to support our scholarships. These young people really need support. So it gives you direct access to, help with funding your education. And then we also have a paid internship program where you can
Yes.
learn about careers in transportation in a real world environment and get paid for your time. Because I grew up in a time where an internship, it was at no cost. Like they want you just to come and learn and work and get there somehow, pay the bus fare, whatever, and you're not receiving any compensation. Who can do that? I couldn't.
Mhm. Mhm.
So we want to make sure every intern gets paid. In addition, our chapters have additional programs. They have additional scholarships that they give out and additional opportunities to support and have paid internships. So even more than what headquarters can offer, our chapters duplicate the efforts in your region. So maybe over several years, you can have a couple internships while you're in school, and you'll be set up for success and have a great job in any discipline when you get out of school. That's the goal. So we do have a national conference coming up. And the cool thing is, if you serve as an intern, you get to attend this event and you get to do a showcase in front of transportation executives and show them what you got. And we train you and we help you to support that. It's really amazing. This is the gathering of about 1,000 transportation leaders and practitioners who happen to care a lot about equity. And while many of them are minorities themselves, there's a lot of allies who come as well. So one of the questions that people ask, and I'm honest about it, people ask, well, if I'm not a minority, can I go to the conference? Yes, of course you can. We want you. And guess what? You won't be alone. There will be many people there. There'll be a rainbow there. Many different people come to our conference and enjoy it very much because they're around like-minded professionals who care about the future of transportation being bright. And that means we have to attract you to join us. And it doesn't matter if you want to go to school for 6 years, 4 years, 2 years, or a technical college. There's room for you. There's a place for you. If you like to play video games, awesome. You're going to learn how to fly a drone because that's a real job and it pays well. And we need you yesterday.
Yes, sir. April, thank you so much. And what's so exciting about it, okay, is that, and this is how we dig deeper, okay, is that on July 8th, which is the kickoff of the meeting, and one of the things the Conference of Minority Transportation Officials does every year is that whoever's the local area, it's really a showcase for you. So our programming, official programming, ends on June 28th. Our winners and our participants, we're going to be part of that July 8th. Once again, this is personal and professional development and networking, okay, that is intentional, okay. There are COMTO chapters. There is a very strong Southern California COMTO chapter. Aaron, I see you online, and Bashir and everything. This is Inland Empire. So the team that we're pulling for the Inland Empire, it's just a train ride away, okay, let alone there's just a lot of intentionality in terms of how all these different pieces come together, okay, and I'm saying, and you get an opportunity to really meet people, talk with them, they see you, you see them, you stay connected, you do, and really pretty much out of life, you get what you put in. Okay, you know what I'm saying? And the idea that there are no barriers, and we're all really excited because I honestly, this is the first time that the annual meeting has been on the West Coast, has been in California. Let's put it that way.
30 years, yeah.
And over 30 years. So it's really, it is like huge, big, huge. Okay, so we're really excited about the opportunity. Okay, now let's go to this chat and then we'll, okay, definitely. Okay. Okay. Now, Isaiah, what you were saying here, you said isn't just science and math. So you want to tell us a little bit about you? Okay. Now I'm saying, so how?
Oh, yeah. Well, first off, thank you to Ms. Ray and Dr. Scott and everyone involved for making this an awesome, event. I've been to like a bunch of these, but it always like impacts me like the same way. Cause like, when I got into DEIA and I started working with Dr. Scott, like I didn't know anything about the infrastructure industry at all, frankly. You know what I mean? I never learned anything about it in high school. They never taught it. They didn't teach it in college either. And I graduated with an English degree, you know what I mean? And I never thought my skills could be used in the infrastructure industry because I always thought, oh, okay, it's just a bunch of transportation stuff. So surely you need to be like a scientist or like a smart math person. And I failed science back in high school. So like I was immediately I was immediately turned away from infrastructure, you know what I mean? But as I've continued to dive deeper into the infrastructure world over like the past 2.5 years, I've like to realize like not only is it like it's a workforce that needs to be filled, but it's a workforce with every single role that needs to be filled. You know what I mean? It's not just science and math stuff. Like I said, all career backgrounds are needed to make the vision work. And like it's literally like just said earlier, Miss Ray, like like there are people who need to know how to fly drones. You know what I mean? Like I play video games all the time, and like I would never have thought that my video game skills could somehow be applied into like real world impacts. You know what I mean? So, you know, big shout out to COMTO. We have a lot of work to do, but it's a step in the right direction. So
I love that. I love that so much, Isaiah. And let me tell you what, one of the most important disciplines that transportation needs is communicators. That's been one of the biggest issues, because the communities that are being impacted by transportation projects, these agencies need help talking to the community about hearing their feedback, sharing that, using that to make decisions, communicating on public transportation about things that are happening. We need strong communicators. So please, you can use that degree. We need you. I'm so happy that you've been a part of this program.
That's it. This is so wonderful. And I see Aaron here. Okay, Aaron, we are lassoing you in. Okay, so if you talk a little bit, you're in the Inland Empire, and we were just having, in fact, we were just on a resilience committee meeting not a week ago. Okay, and you were talking about all of the work that's taking place in terms of this whole thing in terms of 100% accessibility of affordable broadband, internet, and all that, because going along with all this revolution is, I tell people, I don't care if you study in Latin, you better be digitally excellent, but at a minimum proficient. Okay, and I'm saying, so Aaron, if you would take it away, because you're doing some work with us on, there's meetings coming up and community-based things, and like April was saying, how much this, you know, so if you talk a little bit about your.
Definitely. And thank you for the invitation, Beverly, first off. It's always good to see the work that your org is doing. And thank you, April, for that awesome presentation. I've worked within transportation in Riverside County, San Bernardino County for like the last, I'd say like 7 years. And that is the coolest stuff. Like I thought the high-speed rail was cool, you know, coming to the region, but they're putting, you know, smart roads. That's cool. That's cool. But one thing that we do have coming up, GoBiz, so as Beverly mentioned, I work in the Governor's Office of Business and Economic Development. I help with the Community Economic Resilience Fund, but I also help nonprofits and do grant writing, technical assistance, and stuff like that. But one thing that I'm really excited to be helping on is a Broadband for All event that's sponsored by GoBiz and also Cal State San Bernardino. It'll be region-wide, but it's on May 16th from 12 to 6 p.m. So if anybody's on this call and is local and is able to go, you know, reach out to me and I'll put my information in the chat, and I'll put that registration link in the chat too. But I also will register for the event in LA coming up, because that is such a cool thing to have. And I am not a grad of Howard, but I am a graduate of another HBCU called Oakwood University. And I love to see the work being done by us, for us in our communities. I love that. So thank you again for letting me be here, just be a fly on the wall. I'm sorry my camera's off, but I'm happy to connect after or offline. I'll put my contact information in the chat.
Aaron, thank you so much. And and I am a Bison, but I am Bison, and I'm a Fisk, and I'm a Tennessee State. I got all of them in there. But now Bavish, okay, and I'm saying Havish, if I'm pronouncing incorrectly, okay. Now I know that you're joining up with us. Would you talk a little bit about what's exciting you, or the juices flowing? What's making you think that, oh, I want to do this stuff and be part of this program? Come on in, don't be shy. I'll call you out. Okay, I'll come back to you. Okay, Alvarina.
Yes.
Where is Alvarina? That's our Moneta Transportation Institute. And I can't say enough about another longstanding partner with DEIA, and we actually have a Minetta-funded internship, okay, that is directly supporting the program. And that is, I mean, they just are wonderful. And as we can see, many of our partners, and they have also been having many of their younger professionals that have been supporting the program on a regular basis. So Alvarina, we just want to, call you all out, okay, and thank you very much for all the work that you've been doing. But put your what got you, bit you in terms of getting involved in all this stuff?
Well, I got into transportation during my grad program at San Jose State. It was accidental. I was just looking for on-campus employment, and there were a lot of research projects funded by the Minetta Transportation Institute. And I became one of the research assistants. And for the past, I would say past 6 years or so, I've been on and off working with the Minetta Institute as either graphic designer or helping out on different workforce development programs while working in the architecture industry. That at the beginning of the pandemic, that wasn't appealing to me anymore. And so I switched over to doing full-time workforce development programs at MTI.
It's wonderful. And we have been absolutely thrilled. Okay. Now I'm gonna call somebody else out over here, and that is Lehman Abrams. Okay. Because I know that he is surfing, because not only is he very engaged, okay, and everything, but on May 10th, in our Lunch and Learn, we have a 91 year young, okay. I wish I had half of the energy that Miss Laverta Allen has. She is the founder of the Allen Group in the Bay Area, and just a noted advocate. I mean, just everything. We lovingly call her mother. Okay, and I'm saying, and so a Black female entrepreneur, and she occupies all the ground she stands on and has forever. So we get an entrepreneurial perspective. We get I call it profiles and courage. And Lehman is here, and he's assisting in terms of the work that we're doing behind the scenes on that Lunch and Learn. So hi, Lehman, how are you doing with that big? Everybody has been telling us it doesn't matter what you all say. She is really going to tell exactly like April. I'm supposed to call it like I see it. Okay. How are you doing today, Lehman?
I'm so glad to be a part of this very esteemed group of individuals involved in transportation. And April, I can't thank you enough for that very wonderful and insightful presentation and all that you are doing with COMTO. And again, the other people who spoke, and I know the Minetta Transportation Institute. So then you have assembled a great group of individuals and organizations as usual, Dr. Scott. And as was mentioned, I work for a company called the Allen Group. And while we are so glad to be participating next month, there are so many avenues for people who have an interest, as April pointed out, in transportation. Private companies that were referenced in the demos that she provided are part of the constellation of folks who we need to be involved in this effort. There are folks on the public side who are working for public agencies. There are people in foundations. There were people who advocacy at the community and the grassroots level. So there's just so many access points and avenues for people to be involved. I very much like April have had a number of different career journeys personally. So yeah. I can really attest to what she said about, living your values and finding ways to express them. The Allen Group is a 32-year-old African-American woman-owned engineering and construction and project management company. And we're real proud to say that because there are not many minority-owned, women-owned firms that are doing the type of work that we do, which is managing large, complex capital projects. Mm-hmm. And so, like was mentioned, we need individuals who are interested in planning or in engineering or in design or in communications or in small business support services or ensuring that the owners that we work for embed diversity, equity, and inclusion in their both operations, maintenance, and their construction activities. So if I could personally be of help to anyone or answer any questions, I'd love to do that. We're certainly an active supporter of the work that Dr. Scott is doing. And again, it's just nice to be a part of it. And I look forward to seeing folks down in LA since COMTO is on the West Coast. So thank you so very much again for that.
I know.
That's exciting. And I'm happy to be a part of this. And thank you for asking me to comment, Dr. Scott.
Okay, Lima, thank you so much. And speak about living the values. One of the on that day, the individual who is going to be, I'm just going to open it up, who's going to be asking the questions is a young man by the name of Justin. Okay, well, Justin, but he started with the Allen Group. I think he's AT&T, North Carolina, AT&T. He started with the Allen Group, oh God, probably about 6 or 7 years ago, young, whatever, and is now like a really top project manager at the San Francisco International Airport on a major project. And so he's the one that's going to be doing the interviewing, okay? But it's really living your values, okay? And I'm saying, I tell people, we don't just write about it and research it, okay? We really have been so honored to be able to be engaged with partners and contributors who are values aligned. We're values aligned. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And so it's all good. Now, Luce, I'm not going to call you out unless you want to peek. And then I see Vivian from Denver RTD in there, and they are just working diligently on all of their projects. And Carol, thank you so much for all the work that you have been doing nationally, but in Texas and stuff for decades. Okay. You know what I'm saying? And over at Texas Southern University. That's it. Such a pleasure. Okay, Vivian, I know you all are up to Angelman over there at Denver RTD.
Yeah, our team for the project is working super hard. And it's interesting because our team is based out of interns from our human resources department. So speaking to April's point of, sure, we need engineers, we need all this. We also need people to recruit them, right? So
Right.
And that's one of my favorite things, to kind of open that door, kind of like that peek behind the curtain for the Wizard of Us and say, yes, those, but there's way more, right? There's so much more that we need in order to keep those buses and trains on the ground running. So yeah.
Thank you,
Okay, it's
Vivian.
really
Dr. Scott, I have to run to another meeting, but I'm so happy to have been able to participate in this. Please call on me. You know, I'm just a phone call away.
You got it.
Together, we're going to get these young people to choose transportation, not fall into it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it has been just wonderful, and we will see you, if not before, we will definitely be seeing you in July down at the annual meeting. And again, thank you for everything that you all do, that COMTO does, and all the support that you're giving the program. Okay. And remember, guys, critical conversations. We want your input. Take care. Peace. Okay. And we'll see you at the next Lunch and Learn, which is going to be next week. And that's going to be Jobs to Move America. And Desi Hall is going to be speaking. I think they do some of the best work in terms of inclusive procurement and community benefits agreements. And she's anchored out of Birmingham, Alabama. Okay. And so anyway, so stay tuned for an exciting one for next week. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. See you.